In the desolate mountains of Afghanistan, amidst the haunting silence, a chilling tale unfolds. This is the story of Aryo, a soldier haunted by shadows. A seasoned veteran, Aryo was no stranger to the rugged terrains and the harsh realities of war. But even his extensive experience and training couldn't have prepared him for the dreadful patrol that was to come. As they navigated through the treacherous mountain valley, their vehicle was suddenly caught in a vicious ambush. Taliban insurgents, hidden amongst the rocky terrain, launched a ruthless attack. The world around Aryo erupted into chaos and destruction. He witnessed his comrades, men he considered brothers, taken down one by one. Before he could comprehend the magnitude of the disaster, he found himself as the only one left. In an instant, his comrades were gone, and he was left as the lone survivor. With no time to mourn, Aryo fled, taking refuge in a nearby mountain cave, desperate to escape the relentless pursuit of the enemy. The echoes of his pursuers' shouts and gunshots reverberated through the desolate landscape, punctuating the eerie silence. With no other choice, Aryo was forced to spend the night in the cave, his only company the haunting shadows that played along its stark stone walls. As the hours crawled by, the cave's atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The air turned icy cold, and the shadows seemed to contort and twist, transforming into grotesque shapes that danced in the darkness. It was as if the cave itself was alive, its silence replaced by an unsettling, spectral symphony. Then, the unimaginable happened. From the depths of the cave, Aryo heard the faint cries of women, their voices desperate and haunting. They echoed off the cave walls, growing louder and more frantic with each passing minute. Their chilling pleas for help seemed to fill the cave, adding to Aryo's mounting terror. Compelled by the cries, Aryo ventured deeper into the cave, his heart pounding in his chest. He strained his ears, trying to locate the source of the voices, but they seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Suddenly, he felt a sharp, icy sting on his arms and face. He looked down to see scratches appearing on his skin, as if invisible hands were reaching out from the shadows and clawing at him. The cave was no longer a refuge. It had become a nightmarish trap. Panicked and bleeding, Aryo stumbled back, the chilling cries of the women echoing in his ears. As he retreated, the voices gradually faded, swallowed by the all-encompassing silence of the cave. His night in the haunting cave was over, but the terror he experienced would forever be etched in his memory. Dawn broke, and Aryo emerged from the cave, his body battered and scarred. He couldn't explain what had transpired that night. As he squinted against the morning sun, a sight more chilling than the shadows of the cave met his eyes. Freshly dug graves, their somber silence a stark contrast to the echoes of the night before, lay beside the cave entrance. Aryo's heart sank as he pieced together the horrifying puzzle. The cries for help, the icy scratches, they were not mere figments of his imagination. They were the tortured souls of the women who had met their untimely end in this desolate place, their voices forever trapped within the stone walls of the cave. The whispers of the wind carried their stories, their pain, their desperate pleas for mercy. Aryo was not merely haunted by shadows, but by the echoes of their suffering. It all became clear. The women he had heard, the scratches on his body, they were the echoes of those who had suffered and died in that very place. Haunted by shadows and scarred by the supernatural, Aryo left the Afghan mountains, forever haunted by the darkness he had encountered. The once fearless soldier was now a man burdened by an experience that defied explanation and shook him to his core. Aryo could not shake the echoes of the women's voices, their cries for help seared into his memory. The icy scratches on his body healed, but left behind invisible scars that ran deeper than the physical ones. The haunting experience changed Aryo profoundly. He no longer saw the world in the same light. The shadows of the Afghan mountains followed him, a constant reminder of the horrors he had endured. The soldier, once accustomed to the brutality of war, was now haunted by a different kind of terror, one that lurked in the shadows and whispered in the darkness. And so, Aryo carries the shadows with him, a chilling reminder of a night that would forever haunt his dreams.